Okay, good day guys. Welcome to my second session of PLC simulator training program. So, as you are aware, those who have not seen my earlier video, they can go to this link, copy this link and paste it on the YouTube. There you can see my first video one, which was basic training from the PLC. Now today we will start uh, another program which will be advanced programming, which contains timers and counters, including the graphics also. So we start this program now. See, if you would have seen my first video, you would be familiar with this screen, and let's proceed further from there. So basically last time I believe we have missed out some logic which we had only doing series, but now we'll show you some parallel connections also. So we do some parallel connection here, put 0. So output 0. Now this function is used for an OR. So basically you can put again input 1 and again input number 2. Now as you see, I have put this in column number 2, so I cannot put any OR gate in the rest of the columns. It is not allowed as in the logic program. You can, but on the third row, if you program another rung, you can do that. For example, you can do here again with 3 and put 4. So that's the way you can do it. So again, another column is not allowed. So I'll delete this function. Now we run this program. 0, 1, 2. It's basically nothing but a parallel program. And end this, and now you can now save it as. We can do it in the desktop. Say desktop. Say video 2 training. Video 2 training on the desktop. This is saved as type PLC, starter.plc. So I can close this. Already I've saved the file. So we run this program again. Run as administrator, and we now open the program which we had saved earlier. So video 2 training PLC open. So now let's now start with our function of timer and counter. Okay, so now we'll start with the timer. Say input 3 and function timer. So timer number 0. Now as you see here, there are up, time 1 is time up, time 2 is time down, or we can have both types here. So we need to say, let's start with say time 1, time 1 number. So time number 1, which is a time up count. If you use time 2, it's a down count. So we make this here, and we now connect this input 3 to timer, and we run the program. Okay, no hardware required. Input 3. Now as you see here, the timer starts counting, and now the time is done. This is the time done. What does it mean? It's a moment I3 was energized after a delay of 60 counts. So this is time delay on. So the second function, let's go here again, input 4, input 4, okay, and the function again, basically again, as I said, timer number 1, and now I use time 2. This is a time down count. Okay, then we connect this, okay, and let's see the function now of timer number 1, which is by input number 4. You see the moment this is on, time is on. So after 60 count it goes up. This is called the time delay off or a time down count. This is the second function. Okay, now we go to the last function, which is again number 5, and you have this function again, the timer, say number 2, and we use here now say both the functions 2020. With this 2020 it will be on for 20, off for 20, so you can have any values, different values for time 1 and different values for time 2 based on your logic. So we now connect this and run this. Now you see what happens. Input number 5. So what basically it does is it both sides timer 2, 20 counts on, 20 counts off, 20 counts on and 20 counts off. Okay. Now how do we show this in the graphics? Now let's invoke a graphic program, run as administrator, logic. Okay, you will be familiar with the screen from the video 1 training. So edit function, and here basically what we don't need a text here since it is going to show the time value. So basically what you need to do is press the space button 5 times or 6 times, 10 times, whatever. 4, 5, 6, let's take 6 times. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So even the color is not important here. I want to use same color here, same color here, yellow, and I will connect it to time. Timer 1 was timer up, so we have to connect it to timer up. Zero. Okay. What's this? And maximize this. So input 3 is time 0. So now we run this. Now it will show value 0. Now we count this, input 3. You see it starts counting and it will count up to 6. As I already told you, if you do a value of 60, that's equivalent to 6 seconds in the real time. So whatever value you put here you put 60, it will be 6. If you put 600, it will be 60, so far. Okay, now let's start with this. Now this is time 2 is time down, which is input number 4. So edit it again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Line. So it is time down 1. countdown 1 triggered by input 4. So we run this and we trigger this as input number 4. So it starts counting 6. Okay, and okay, now this timer number 2 is basically on and off, which is not basically a timer, it's a pulse. So this function cannot be shown in the graphics. Okay. I'll try to do that again. Let's try to do that and see what happens. Okay, now what was that timer? Because it's neither up and it's neither down, it's both up and down, so it will not count. So it is, you cannot define this as up or down. Here it is defined as up, here it is defined as down. So you see it will not count. So again 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5. So it is time 2, say down. So we run this. So what is the input number 5? So let's trigger input number 5. So it will press toggle between, so it will tell you this is a pulsating, so 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So doesn't make any sense. So we edit and we delete this, delete again. Okay, now if you have programmed this graphics with so many timers but you don't know what is the function of this, so it will not make any sense. So to make it sensible, we need to tell what is this timer, what is this timer. So now time 0 is connected to input 3. Okay, input 3, this is time, see, this is time 0. Edit label input to time 0, time of 0. So that is input number 3. So what we do here, we again go to trigger mode. We are already in edit mode, so we say pump 1 delay. And this is connected to input number 3. Input number 3. Okay, pump 1 delay. Similarly, you can have here say ignition delay. Ignition timer. Okay, let's say ignition timer. So it will be connected to input 4, timer 1. Okay, now we run this delay and run this in, it's input 3 and input 4. So input 3, input 4. It will count up to 6 and stop there. So it then stopped here. Now we can do this in a different way. Okay, so when it is on, only the display will show. So let's do that. We edit this. edit label, remove this. Similarly, remove this. This makes it more dynamic rather than the static. So as I run this now, so say input 3 and input 4. So this is a way of showing the graphics, which is more dynamic. And not only that, it tells you this timer is pump delay time, this is ignition time. So this makes more sense when you are doing fault finding and when there are many timers over here. Okay, now I believe now this we have covered timers. Okay, and I can show one counter example, and the details will go in the next video. Let me show you one counter here. That's also okay. Now here the declaration is counter number 0. So I want to count, say, this timer pulse number 2, because this is going to be pulsed, say to a value, say it can go from 0 to 9999. Okay, and then again go to 0. So I will count, say after 10 I need to have an output as a pulse. So this can be connected to as an input. Input should be pulsing, or an output should be pulsing. The flag should be pulsing, or we connect to timer number 2, or we connected to another counter which was programmed earlier. So now I am going to program it to timer number 2. So let's take timer number 2. Okay. This subtract input I will leave it for later because this makes it more complicated, and I have one small program written so that you can understand what this will do when this number also is programmed here. So this will be counting up and this will be counting down. So count up, you need to have some pulses, and then you have trigger another input, it will count down to 0. So we will be dealing with it separately, only the counter program. So let's just see what this function does. Okay, now counter number 0, value 10, timer number 2. Okay, I've done it. No, this does not require any input because it takes directly the time value in. So only you need to connect the wire here. Okay, now we will trigger only input 5, which is timer 2. Okay, and let's try to program one counter also here. Okay, see, it just started counting. So your value, this counter value is displayed in this one. Okay, so now again we need to have a text value here. So if you need to have a text value, which point triggers this? Is the input number 5. So we do here is the input number 5. Edit it, input number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Say input number 5. Is it input number 4 or 5? Input number 5, correct. So edit label. We have to write here not the space, but we have to write a value. Say, let's say start counter. Start purge counter. So this is the way graphics will be shown here, and more the details on the graphics, the more easy and more dynamic it will be. And later on, if the more graphics are attached here, you can easily tell by looking at the graphics what is the problem with your project. So guys, this is the what we are now timer program in the counter. And again, so the another video will be now, again we will talking about more about counters and the other function blocks which are there here. So I want to make a short video rather than complicating it, so I can give you more details of each function for you to program. So that's it guys, and see you in my next video. I will now file, okay, save and close it. Yes, save it. Okay, and again we save it here, but it was running, so file, save. Now we had not saved the graphics file before, so we will save it again in say desktop. We will say video 2 graphics. Video 2 graphics. I think it's already existing, so we can make save as video 3 graphics. Yes, so let's see whether video 3 graphics, yes. Just we'll cross check it again, and that's it. You are there. Program. Video 2 training. So that's it. There you are. So I close this program now. Already saved, so, and graphics also we it and file save. So in the future you can again use this program. So see you in my next video, which will be video number 3, which will be again advanced about counters and another functions remaining in my PLC logic. So, and as you're aware, this video link will be shared with you in the YouTube, and please go ahead and watch this video. Thank you guys.